Welcome back. I know it's a time that many of you are waiting, mainly because I've been eagerly anticipating it. That's more Frieren. After the major exam has been ticked off, heading on to the second one, but also Stark now finding a friend and a little side job, not being able to just sit around and do nothing for a while. But going forward and seeing some of the other faces, how are they all going to get on? And are past friends going to become current enemies? Fern and Frieren are going to be at each other's throats? Is a student going to surpass the master? Probably not. Plus we also have that elf who's out there somewhere. There's plenty to see. So, grab a drink. Let's begin. And I do wonder what their actual test is going to be, considering it's like meant to be so disastrous for them, despite them the host here being a pacifist. So it's usually the simple ones which become a whole issue in of themselves. And this is where it cuts off into the intro. So, by her own standards, this test is simple. In what degree? Simple by execution? Simple in its what it wants from the candidates? Because if it was as easy as she's laying it out to be, there might be a little more first-class majors. And there's no doubt that throughout this there's going to be a moment of recollection, a step back into what she has gone through before, because, well, it's an episode of Frieren. If we didn't go back to Himmel and the others, it would be slightly odd. But what of her past experiences are going to shine through today? And are we going to see a little bit more of Stark, considering, he was touched upon outside of the test, but now what's in there? Some undead, some Draugr. And how would they know that they have reached the deepest floor? Okay. So if you can't do something as simple as getting to the bottom floor here... So that's why this is meant to be so treacherous. That's what I was wondering. Is there some... So she will be just travelling with them, as said that she doesn't like fighting, so they won't be helping, but an escape golem. You'll be able to leave. Will they carry them out in one piece, though? Understood. Well, at least it's a little more reassurance than the first test. Okay. So they're not going to be at each other's throats, hopefully, throughout all of this. She abhors fighting, as it were, so reaching the bottom of a dungeon or a tomb, which has never been reached before. Have to find new ways of working together, aiding. So are they all going to just choose the same one, safety in numbers? Or, they're of course not going to work together that easily. Even if they are, just, they can all succeed together. Well, he wants to prove himself. Yeah, but he has trust issues. So is he the first one we're going to come across as a bloodied pile? They've all found their own little cliques. So they're headed in. No one's exactly all too amiable. She works better alone. There was an attempt. Are you going to take her along? Or is she going in last? It seems like they'll be having the safest route. Well, she already said she's not planning to help them on their test or, well, join in any fights, really. Magic candles, or is someone coming along and lighting them all before they're going in? Useful. Well, can they float above the floor to not trigger any of the traps? It was only through years of trial and error that she learned how to handle them. And did anyone follow them down this entrance? Yeah, she's not the adventure junkie unlike him will seem to be. Gonna take a... Okay. Not gonna take a rest before they carry on. They've got to explore the entirety of it. What if there's something that you missed? A hidden passageway? A treasure room? He's a completionist. So, while it's not life-threatening, let's enjoy the time together. It's as if, saving the world, defeating the Demon Lord and whatnot, is just a byproduct of his adventure. You've got her on board. She's leading the charge, in fact. And the fact that she's got a healthy smile while talking about it. I can see they would have a bit of a frosty reception, considering their past little battle. And who are these two at the back? Can they be trusted to work as part of this team? So they have. There's definitely no one that would fall for a mimic. I think this is going to be a fun one. I'm glad that. Oh. I was going to say, I'm glad that it didn't immediately cut to her being swallowed alive. It is a mimic. You might be giving away the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, she has the right mindset to become a first-class mage, but she's about to be eaten. So how's that grimoire? Can you read it from in there? This is the most emotive we've seen her. Can she bring the grimoire out with her? No spells or anything, just hard work. There's no... I saw that pile of ash. Oh, it wasn't a pile of ash. Just completely flattened. Good that you can see the remnants of those who went before you, so you can actually be aware. Oh. Gargoyles. It's... Okay. I was going to say, are we going to get statues that regenerate or just have continued damage? Can she overwrite magic and send it back? Is that what that was? But seeing their different fighting styles, some that are actually just... Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Try and hide in the candle alcove. Can they do anything about the door? I mean, even if you blast it, you're just sending it into where the room is. Oh, magic resistant. Now we get to see the golem. She did say it was a prototype, though. Nah, we're good. She'll just have to try next time. But the fact it broke through that wall, like it was nothing. Is the reason she's trapped the same as like Homer when he had his arm inside the vending machine? Just she won't let go of whatever's in there. Force feed it. Yeah. Good that she had a little bit of knowledge of how to escape. So why didn't she attempt it now? Ah. So, accidentally giving yourself some, a new haircut. How can she say that with such a composed face, considering she just got mangled and eaten for the past half hour? Is there a... Oh, okay. I was going to say, is there somewhere later on in the tomb where you can put all those medals to activate something? There you go. How many mimics are in this place? Someone went through a lot of time and effort making this place. Can she bring it all back with her? Also, is the... No, okay. She's not interested in the way that Frieren looks at how to approach a dungeon. She's had a good teacher. And life beforehand. Hmm. She's not doing it for herself. There's no grand intentions or wishes behind it. There may be something that she can focus on in the future. Does she want to get lost in magic? That was a little transition. Not everything they find will be junk, though. Could be worse reasons to continue her travels. Otherwise, she'll be here all day, yeah. She's flip-flopping on her decision. How are they going to... let her down? A final gate? Is it going to need a puzzle to open? What was that? A gem or something shining in the darkness. Now, that's a spell that he himself knows quite well. I didn't know he could also birth the flowers. But who and why are they targeting? Well, they've got defenders. Themselves. That would be why they were using his binding magic. Yeah, so now they can fight each other without having to actually enter proper combat with their friends and allies. Also, I just thought, if they are like copies of the other other examinees, are they going to use the same magics that we've seen, or are they going to be slightly better prepared at it all? Wow, she just went right through. I was going to say, yeah, can they wield their magics better than the actual ones they're copied from? So you have to know your own weaknesses to overcome this trial. True. What if it wasn't all darkened and monotone? We know someone else that can control clones. Maybe not to this extent, and he usually just does himself. They're better copies. But how many of them are going to be using their bottles? There's a certain boot there. This might be out of their depth. He's not going to risk his life unnecessarily. I do love the boss music, really ramping up the tension. There was a certain grow in atmosphere as Shadow Frieren appeared. I mean, she does have plenty of weak points. It's just that I don't know if any of them are in a magic battle. She's, harnesses the simple offensive and defense magic, but is the clone going to do the same thing? Since Frieren's true power comes from the everyday magics and her exploration. And if we're getting her appearing for them, what copies are going to be in front of Fern and Frieren? Or the other parties, really. At least we know there's an easy way out. Break the bottle and escape. That was neat. I like the idea that, despite there being no need to hold some animosity between them anymore, yet they can't trust one another, especially not after the first test. But also, because they are mages of this degree, they are geniuses within their own right that have a certain level of ego, and they'd want to prove that they themselves can do it. I wonder if that human-shaped mulch that they found after the roof trap, was it just a little bit of darkening so that we don't have to see the excess, or is it just one of old, like years ago, someone else who went adventuring here? I'm guessing, though, that there are going to be some that they're so vehement on passing this and proving themselves that they're not going to be opening up the bottles. And although that, there's a tough fight coming up ahead, going up against this dark Frieren, maybe they'll be able to overwhelm her. But my biggest concern is Frieren's little adventure herself. Because we were told there is a time limit. And with her wandering around every passage possible to try and find any goodies that may be locked away, is she going to inadvertently waste too much time? She does seem to be like one of the only ones here who has the outlook of a proper first-class mage. She's not worried about the dungeon. She's not worried about getting down to the bottom and solving it and securing her place. We're still just... There might be some neat trinkets around. Let's explore. See what the world of Yonder had in store. Also, Himmel's outlook on dungeon exploration and how he approaches it, well, easily rubbing off on Frieren just by mentioning magical grimoire. But still, the going down every twist and turn, exploring it all until, well, before moving onwards. That's how I approach a lot of dungeon exploration games and stuff. Even if I know that there might be only a couple of gold pieces, some useless trash items, you never know. At least with his words himself, his reasoning is different from mine. He just wants to enjoy time with his friends and comrades a little longer. And makes sense when you realise just how much he treasured them all. And there are definitely those which, no matter what we're actually doing, whether it be travelling down the dungeon, squaring up to the Demon King themselves, there are definitely some out there who would never pass up an opportunity just to spend a little time longer with. So, maintaining ourselves and our memories of those past. A little easier when you've got some dumb stories to go over. But definitely seeing Frieren's little box of oddities, ever enlarging group of, or collection of tat, is some of the things she's found actually going to be useful for this dungeon? We'll have to watch the next one to find out, though. With the ever-encroaching danger of those that are now fighting for their lives against a replica, I really want to watch it now. So if you've enjoyed this one, let me know. Leave a like on the video, comment down below if you would try to work as a team, or end up getting eaten by a mimic. That's probably my fate. Ooh, shiny. Tragic. Consider subscribing to the channel to not miss out future uploads. Join my Discord if you want a little more. But for now, get a drink. No. But for now, get some rest. Because I hope to see you for the next one. If you would take a chance and wander the great halls and tombs with me instead of against me, consider joining onto my Patreon, because then we don't have to put ourselves in front of dangerous traps, and we can just sit and watch some more anime, which is, let's be honest, the greater outcome. So I do need to thank Noku, Sal, Doltrafan, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else, for if it wasn't for them, me and my channel may just be a smear on the floor of YouTube's history.